Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The silver and the bronze. I give you Canada, France, Germany, Serbia, and Australia.
Germany, more so than Canada. I think that their talent, it's a little more tiered. You know what Dennis Schroeder's capable of. Franz Wagner, another player. Daniel Tice steps up, and Mo Wagner as well. They're built to really take advantage of the mistakes that Team USA makes, and they can make the effort plays.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, yeah, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. Level 2. Sirius XM, channel 159. I'll be honest. I'm losing track of time, days, hours, and all this. I'm really on top of all that. Like, the Olympics have wiped me out. It's been 1 week. I have gotten up every morning. I've been a guest. I did the Pat Mayo show. I did the Hustler show, both of which were like early in the morning for me. So I woke up. I've been waking up for the events. Finally, I tapped out. It was sort of one of the days I was like, I can't wait. I keep on setting my alarm. Like, I go to bed at like 5, and I set my alarm for like 8:30. And one of the days is I was like, oh, God, like, I felt sick, like, sort of dizzy and stuff. And I got sloppy. Like, I started to notice I was losing bets. I bring this up, actually, on a serious note. Fatigue can do you in, man, when you're betting with this stuff. Like, you got to get rest and, clear your head, get some sleep. We were talking about this earlier in the week about Sean McVay talking about how he sleeps a lot more. And he goes, it's not productive to just sit in an office for 18 hours. It's overkill. And he was talking about how he's more refreshed. And on a gambling note, same thing. I've told a story before about like Phil Hellmuth. We were talking with Phil Hellmuth. And I guess he had a little bit of a poker slump. And I'm not the biggest poker fan, but I found it was an interesting conversation with Hellmuth. And it was me and Pharrell in Vegas, and Hellmuth was on. It was years ago. It was when Pharrell was on CBS Sports Radio. He was doing a show at the D in Vegas, and I was a guest there in Vegas, and Phil Hellmuth was a guest. And Phil Hellmuth, I guess he had like a little bit of a bad run, and he was on fire again. And when he came on, like with us, he was on fire again. And we were like, well, so what's changed? What was the difference? Just a slump. And he goes, no, it wasn't just a slump. And he basically said, he goes, I was eating terribly. He goes, I was sitting at the table for like 16 hours. And he basically said, I was mentally like just drained and fatigued. And now he said he was talking about just sleeping more. And he was thinking clearer and stuff, especially as you get older. And it can catch up as a gambler, especially like a thing with the Olympics. Right? Like, anyone who's following me on Twitter knows, like, I've posted like hundreds of picks for the Olympics over the week. A lot of you guys are into it, and I'm posting these picks, and we've been straight fire for the most part. But you'll notice, what was it? Like Wednesday and Thursday, like the last 2 days, it's been ugly. You know what I mean? Like the football, just sort of like, I've been a day late and a dollar short, and I can complain about, it was 49.5, and they got to 49, and whatever, it lost. There's no such thing as a bad bet, right? It lost. So, but it kicked in like last night or whatever. I was sitting there, and I was like, you know what? I was looking at the games and stuff, and there was a bunch of new water polo coming up, and it was like 6 in the morning. I was like, I can't do this. I can't think anymore. Like, all these countries look the same to me, the screen. I'm just like, you know what I mean? My brain is fried. So, word of no lie, we have taken it on the chin in the last 48 to 72 hours. But, with that being stated, we have a lot of Olympic bets that are still pending and or very close to winning that is going to clear the deck for us. We just need to finish them off now. But the women's archery is one. We've got a lot of them. I can go on. Like, we've got like 32. I mean, I can tell you, I think I've got 32 current Olympic bets. No, I'm down now. I got 27. I got 27 open Olympic bets right now. I'm just waiting. You know, it's one. Oh, and the Dodgers are coming back 6-5 right now. Oh, but there's 2 out, and it's the top of the 9th. Let's check in Oaktown. Snell threw the no-hitter earlier tonight. So one of our bets, and we keep telling you to bet her. So she won the last one, the Summer McIntosh. She's won 2 of them this week. One of them, she was minus 2,500. We couldn't bet it, so there was nothing for us to do with that race. We were just happy she won gold because we got, I'm happy she won, but we got the over 5.5 for Canada. Then the next one, we told you, she's going to win for sure. And she was a minus 225 favorite. She didn't win the first heat. They dropped her to minus 188. She dominated in the next heat. She ended up closing at minus 300. She won the race, so we cashed the ticket. Minus 225 in parlays, minus 188 straight up. We cashed the ticket. Then she's got one more race tomorrow. She's into the final now, so there's no more semi, whatever. There's this one race tomorrow afternoon for Summer McIntosh, and she didn't win the heat that she was in, but she finished second. And one thing with Summer McIntosh, she doesn't care about winning the heat, right? It's not like, and I don't know why the odds makers react to this stuff. It's amazing that they build it into the numbers when it's like, you know that the top swimmers aren't trying as hard. They're so good, like Titmus, Ledecky, McIntosh. Like, McIntosh is so good, she can go, like she even said, she goes, I was kind of going half speed, right? Like she knows how to pace herself. So, and then they react and they change the numbers. So we were talking about this earlier in the week, and I said, I can't believe that Summer McIntosh is still an underdog. So she's won 2 gold medals, and she's still an underdog in this race. And she was plus 187, except it's changed. Now she's plus, it went to plus 140 earlier in the day. Summer McIntosh is currently plus 162. I called her Amy Walsh earlier. My apologies. Amy Walsh is the Canadian soccer player on TV. We tweet each other, Twitter buddies. My apologies. Alex Walsh, the Virginia Cavaliers swimmer. She's plus 250. Summer McIntosh is plus 162 now. This is the 200-meter individual medley. The individual medley is Summer McIntosh's favorite event. Her specialty is the 400. All right, and she won by nearly 6 minutes. And Leo Marchand also won the 400 intermedley by nearly 6 minutes in the men's, and then he also dominated the 200 after. And one of the big threats was Kaylee McEwen. Kaylee McEwen's been in a million events, and she's slowing down right now. So I don't think, and she's in the 6th lane here. I don't want to dismiss her and be a hypocrite and say, oh, she had a bad heat, but she's been like, she's getting tired. So we'll see how refreshed she is in the morning. But like, she's the Australian. She's, like I said, she's been swimming all week and winning medals all week. But I think it's a tall task here. Kate Douglas, same thing. Kate Douglas can get on the podium, but everybody in the swim world knows here this is a head-to-head showdown essentially with Summer McIntosh and Alex Walsh. And with all due respect to Alex Walsh, you're not Summer McIntosh. Summer McIntosh is going to roll here. She's going to win another gold medal tomorrow, and we're going to get her at plus 162. And the next Olympics, she's going to be a minus 5 whatever. She's going to be a minus big everything in every damn race because she's going to be 21 years old only in the next Olympics in 2028. She's only 17 right now. She's going to win this, though. So you're getting a nice plus 162. This event is, the race is at 3:08 Eastern time in the afternoon, not tonight. We'll take a look at the overnight card a bit here, but in the afternoon tomorrow, 12 noon basically, West Coast time, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3:08 to be exact, in for the women's 200-meter individual medley. Summer McIntosh, plus 162. That's the whole thing. Like we said, we bet the number. If we're fortunate enough to get an underdog, we like her, hey, we'll take her. You know, I won today with the McAvoy guy who won me the gold medal in the 50. He was minus 120. All right, it wasn't great value, but I thought he was going to win, and he won. So I'm not betting Summer McIntosh. And here's a little trick, too. You can kind of tell. I'm looking at a sports book here. So they have Summer McIntosh at plus 162, but they don't have the Summer McIntosh odds boost, right? They have a Kate Douglas odds boost. Yeah, they're giving you a Kate Douglas odds boost because they know Kate Douglas ain't going to win the race. I'm thinking Michael Douglas, Kate Douglas, what is this? The Michael Douglas show? The movie Wall Street. I just saw a Michael Douglas movie the other night. So, yeah, so they're giving you an odds boost. Let's say you can sort of tell by that stuff. They're baiting you in, oh, Kate Douglas. She's not going to win. And neither is Alex Walsh. Summer McIntosh wins the gold medal, plus 162. Smash it.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The silver and the bronze. I give you Canada, France, Germany, Serbia, and Australia.
Germany, more so than Canada. I think that their talent, it's a little more tiered. You know what Dennis Schroeder's capable of. Franz Wagner, another player. Daniel Tice steps up. And Mo Wagner as well. They're built to really take advantage of the mistakes that Team USA makes, and they can make the effort plays.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, yeah, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
Here we go. Here's Tony Finn's in the house.
Yeah, baby.
No concerns about Tony cutting himself shaving. It looks like Tony, you got you're letting the goatee go here, huh? You're letting it go? Little beard action?
It's if I put the right shaving cream on, it's invisible, through the green screen anyway. So I should be clean shaven. If I don't, I'm screwing something up.
Nice red. It's almost red overkill here. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's funny when I put this on, I was like, I'm sure someone's going to be wearing red as well here. But speaking of red, my face is red.
It'll be better.
Yeah, that's not bad either. My face is red. LA Dodgers. Listen, I'm not shocked they lost to San Diego. San Diego are a red-hot baseball team right now. But with that being stated, Oakland, minus 150. I bet the Dodgers anytime I get them at this price tonight, Tony.
Yes.
Tonight was a night where they fell down. They tried to come back, fall short, but another loss for the Dodgers. And I just told people earlier, Tony, Dodgers were 11-13 in the month of July. First losing month for the Los Angeles Dodgers since 2018. I'm not coming at them because of all the injuries. I'm not a sky's falling guy. Look, they came out of the break. They swept the Red Sox. They beat the Giants. But without being stated, I'd say sometimes you kind of do got to get mad. I don't care about the injuries. And it's like, come on, bro. Like, we just lost to San Diego. Can't be losing to the Oakland A's now tonight, but they did.
Well, Oakland A's are playing loose baseball. If you look back before the break, they weren't great. I think they won 7-6 last 13 before the break. After the break, 9-5 now.
But that's not bad, Tony. As underdogs, we should know. They're underdogs all the time. Right. So 7-6, 9-5 as dogs means you're making money.
Absolutely. And not that, and they're scoring runs. They're hitting the ball. They're playing loose offensively. They still can't pitch. I really like Flaherty tomorrow, though. This is a guy that after last year's trade deadline, you remember he talked about it a little bit last year when they traded him at the deadline. He really wasn't prepared for it. He didn't perform very well after it. He said it's going to be different this year. Look at my numbers. Look at the way I'm pitching, and he's right. He pitching pretty darn good, and really just some bad luck, Gabe. His BABIP is pretty much league average. His home runs per 9 are above this league average, and he's still performing at elite level, especially strikeouts to base on balls.
So Jack Flaherty makes his Los Angeles debut tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock West Coast Pacific time. Flaherty -180. Spence goes for the Oakland Athletics, Tony. Total is 8.5. Dodgers are -1.5. I know you're not a money line guy. You're more the alt line guy. Are you going to push it and go Dodgers like -2.5 tomorrow? Like, is this because when they finally win, they're going to smoke someone. Like they're going to put 8 runs up in the first inning type of deal one of these nights.
Yeah, if you saw tonight, I put a little article up that there's smoke and mirrors in this league, especially this time of year with the prospects coming up or injuries, and the fact is Phillips, his 4 starts were smoke and mirrors, and look what he gave up 8 runs in the first 2 innings. That's the kind of thing the Dodgers can do, and the Dodgers do it. And Spence, he's a smoke and mirrors guy, and I think the Dodgers are going to be prepared tomorrow. No team's better at taking pitches. No team gets more pitches per at bat than the Dodgers. And if they do this to Spence tomorrow, I think you see not only a Dodgers win, but a Dodgers win by margin. I'll do 1.5 and 2.5 probably tomorrow, both of them at alt run lines.
We talked about San Diego being hot, but they're losing right now as we speak. And the Blue Jays are not. The Blue Jays have been a fade. I swear to God, though, Tony, the thing with the Blue Jays, I look at this team, I'm always amazed when I look at their record that it's not worse than it is, because it feels like it's been like one of the worst seasons in the history of Blue Jay baseball. Yeah, they're 51-59. It's not good. They had, honestly, they should be 59-51. Like in their mind, like that's what they thought. It's sort of like it's a reversal of like the 10 games there, Tony. So I'm somewhat surprised. Every time I think the Jays are going to lose and they're completely done, they'll win a couple of games. What did you make of the Jays beating the Yankees, and what do you think going into the weekend in this series now?
Well, I think the Yankees they've come out of that little spiral or that little slump that they were in, that black hole for a while, but they're always going to be, if you look at that lineup, they're always going to be really heavily dependent on the top of their order, the middle of their order. With Stanton back, I'm not a big Stanton fan. I don't know about you. Listen, the guy can hit a ball 120 miles an hour and launch it to the moon, but he's got to be more like what Judge is this year, and he'll never be that, I don't think, ever again. And that is, Judge is doing a good job of actually hitting for average, striking out less, taking walks with a good eye, and hitting home runs. Is he the MVP? Probably. Are the Yankees going to win that East? I'm telling you right now, Toronto. That 51-59 record, if you look at the run differential, for instance, a lot of that, you can't be, it's not an end all, but the truth is they're -82 run differential. That's a big difference for a team that's 51-59. So I would say they're pretty fortunate to be 51-59. I think your description of it looked like they should be worse is accurate. It just never has clicked for this group of young guys and the coaches and the managers they put there. And they're going to have to start over, aren't they, next year? I think they're going to start over in a big way. Look what Kikuchi did tonight, right? He got a little nervous at first, then he strikes out 11, right, for Houston, and they win.
Man, Kikuchi's a good pitcher. I liked him. With the Jays. Yeah. Even this year, he was one of the more trustworthy guys, to be honest. A lot of them are inconsistent. Blake Snell throws a no-hitter tonight. I guess we should have opened with that, but here we are. Better late
There
than
it
never.
is.
Blake Snell, no-hitter tonight, Tony.
I like Blake Snell, but he's another guy that's has always been a hit and miss, a little fragile above the shoulders kind of guy. But,
were you surprised no one traded for him? And then look, it's almost symbolic, isn't it? No one trades for him, and then he throws a no-hitter in his first start after no one picks him up. And remember, before the season, nobody really wanted him. He was slow to sign.
Yeah.
People just don't want to give this guy money, Tony, in the bigs. Like the teams don't want him. It's weird.
They just listen. As I said, I think if you listen to him talk, if you listened to him 2 years ago, last year, even this year, he's a little more calm. I think he's a smart kid, and I think he's going to be one of those guys that makes an adjustment from being a fireballer or a guy who strikes out 10, 11 to that veteran that's 33, 34, still pitching and pitching at a high level, not striking out as many people because I just listening to him talk, and if he gets on the right team, he's going to be awful good. He was picking up that salary of his, and some of the conditions that are in his contract was difficult.
And remember, Snell got upset even in the World Series when he got pulled in baseball games.
That's right. Yeah.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup, what you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The silver and the bronze. I give you Canada, France, Germany, Serbia, and Australia.
Germany, more so than Canada, I think that their talent, it's a little more tiered. You know what Dennis Schroeder's capable of, Franz Wagner, another player, Daniel Tice steps up, and Mo Wagner as well. They're built to really take advantage of the mistakes that Team USA makes, and they can make the effort plays.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
Yeah, we'll get back to the baseball. This is SportsRage, Sirius XM Channel 159, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network. I am Gabriel Morency. We'll get back to the baseball. We'll see who Tony likes tomorrow. But let's talk a little basketball right now, Tony. The Olympics. It's been cool. I don't know if you've enjoyed it or not, but it's been cool, some of these matchups. And now it's really going to get cool once we get to the knockout stage, right? And no more just, the game doesn't matter. The games are going to count. You know there's going to be some wild, weird things that happen along the way. But let's talk about the games that are coming up here. We talked about it with your colleague, and Rob says hi, Rob Vino. We were talking about the total, and I was saying, it was a good point. We both brought up that, look, they got to 189 against South Sudan, and South Sudan can freaking fly up and down the court. They're a run-and-gun team. They bomb threes. Puerto Rico can't do that. Like, Puerto Rico are challenged. Like, Alvarado's like their only guy that can score. They're offensively challenged. They're defensively challenged. They're just not very good. They got in on Hart. They squeezed in the back door on the final day. They got into the tournament. God bless them for it and stuff. But the USA, Tony, it's the last knockout game. They're going to, did the U.S. really need to beat Puerto Rico by 42 tonight? No. I keep coming back to the under here tonight, and the team total Puerto Rico 76.5. I don't think they score that many points. I think the game's like 100-69 or something like that.
What? I think you're spot on. Everything you just outlined is true. I played one game, officially played one game in the Olympics so far, kind of waiting for where we're at now. Like you mentioned, you thought it was going to get good. And that was the U.S. Open against Serbia. Remember, we both talked about it last week. I played Serbia plus the points. And the Serbs just, again, they didn't show up. And it appears to me that the United States continues to just toy with teams per se. And even Coach Kerr, if you look at the way he handles that roster, this is a brave guy, not a brave guy, but a confident guy, and knows he can handle these divas, and they are divas, right? NBA divas, basketball divas, a tough roster to give minutes to.
You know what though, Tony?
So good. Yeah.
It's a good point. And listen, he's getting crucified, and you're going to, especially in the modern era. It is what it is. I mean, no one criticized Coach Krzyzewski for leaving guys on the bench before, right? When Coach K was running the Olympic team.
Yeah.
But Kerr, like every decision Kerr makes, right? Oh, you screwed Tatum. You embarrassed him. Oh, you're screwing out. Like, why does Embiid play so much? Curry's on the floor. Like, trust me, like even though they're winning, people are looking like you with the Dodge, like with Roberts. People are like, there's something with Kerr that's bothering them. But I like what you just said. Kerr is like basically saying, I'm the effing coach.
Yep.
I'm running this thing, and this is the way that it works. And if you don't like it, then, and I think they knew Jaylen Brown will not like this.
Oh, no.
And I think this is why he wasn't on the team. Let's just get to that chase. Jason Tatum's a nice kid. He'll sit there. Imagine if you left Jaylen Brown on the bench and didn't play him in one of these games, bro. He would have flipped, man. I tell you, he would have been, I'm the effing MVP. You embarrassed me. What the hell did you fly me over here for? You know what I mean? There's different characters. That's why they were like Kyrie Irving wanted to play. And they were like, no, we can't. Yeah, we don't trust him. Like, that was the whole thing. We don't trust his character, what he's going to do, even if he's pretending he's okay and he's going to be cool. You never really know. But
he's come a long way. But he's come a long way. I liked him in Dallas. He really fits. He really.
Oh, he's been a model citizen and a great player for them.
I agree.
He kind of sucked in the finals against Boston, but it's a Boston thing.
Right. That was more Boston.
He sucks
than
against
Boston.
Kyrie. Like they're in his head because of the whole stuff that happened. Okay, so Serbia, you talked about. So Serbia got lit up by the U.S. Yeah, the U.S. were too fast for them. But then Serbia lit up Puerto Rico and hung 107 on them and pushed the tempo. So they showed, all right, they sort of woke up in that game. Now you get South Sudan. We were talking about liking the under in the USA game against Puerto Rico. But I like the over 178.5 of the South Sudan game. I think Serbia, you can score on South Sudan. They rebound well, but they don't play great D. They kind of want to trade baskets with you, to be honest. And that's what makes them fun. They're like, all right, USA, let's trade baskets. Right? And they go for it. And I think they're going to do the same thing with Serbia. I think South Sudan knows we're not playing a half-court game against Jokic. What are we going to do? We're going to run and gun, and let's make Serbia run and gun with us and let's try to outscore them. I'm gladly taking the 14.5 points with South Sudan in this game.
I am too. I mean, how many times can we say it's South Sudan? How are you going to play South Sudan? How many times are we going to say that? It's like a pitcher that out pitches his peripherals and outperforms any expectations. There's a reason why. And South Sudan's the team not to take lightly. I agree.
They keep covering everything.
I agree. I agree.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup, what you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The silver and the bronze. I give you Canada, France, Germany, Serbia, and Australia.
Germany, more so than Canada, I think that their talent, it's a little more tiered. You know what Dennis Schroeder's capable of, Franz Wagner, another player, Daniel Tice steps up, and Mo Wagner as well. They're built to really take advantage of the mistakes that Team USA makes, and they can make the effort plays.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And he was, someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, yeah, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. Tony Finn kicking it with us right now on the Friday Night Freak Show. Fun time this evening. Quickest 180 minutes in sports talk and television continuing. So we were talking about the Olympic basketball. And, Tony, sounds like we agree. Under in the U.S.-Puerto Rico game, over in the South Sudan-Serbia game, and South Sudan plus the 4. It's down to 14 in some spots now. Numbers dropping. People are betting on Sudan.
I think in that USA-Puerto Rico game, too, I think I would be remiss, and I think both of us would probably agree, passing on Puerto Rico plus 35, 36 points, difficult for me to do. I don't care how much better the U.S. is than Puerto Rico. That, if you like that, if you like laying 35, 38 points, then here's your game, right? But I'm taking the points, too.
Yeah, you know what? I like the under, but push comes to shove. Right. Push comes to shove, I would have to be on the dog. Number one, it's the last group stage game.
Yes.
USA doesn't have to worry about point differential. They've already smoked everybody, so it's not their concern. Yep. And Puerto Rico is the U.S. as well. Like they're not. Right. I don't think they're going to embarrass them, Tony. I think there's going to be. I could see the U.S. sort of saying, "Hey, we're not going to embarrass the Puerto Rican dudes." Like, you know what I mean? Let's win. You know,
Alvarado, yeah, Alvarado and Waters start for this team. They're not chopped liver. I agree with you.
Well, the thing is, and I brought it up, Tony. That's why I was on South Sudan in the last game, but it's a little different. Yeah. And and I don't like MMA math, we call, or basketball math. This guy beat that guy, so it means he's going to lose to this guy. But at the same point in time, South Sudan and Puerto Rico played. So let's call it common opponents in this world. Common opponents, Tony. South Sudan and Puerto Rico played. Yeah, South Sudan won by 10 or 11 or whatever. It was actually super close. Like, it was tied. It was a close game. Alvarado missed like 10 minutes of the game. I was watching the game. He got hurt. He left. He came back. South Sudan pulled away like in the last 5 minutes type of thing and ended up winning. But it was a pretty close game. And they hung with the U.S. So, and the other thing, Tony, is in a 40-minute game to win by 36 points, you got to outscore your opponent by a point a minute. Like, that really is a lot. Like, if you're the opponent can just hit a couple of threes, you're going to cover the spread.
Yeah. That's funny. I think it's a really good point as well. Casually at my watering hole that I visit periodically, every once in a while now, they were talking about totals and they were talking about this number and this number and every single one of them, not one of them mentioned, hey, this isn't a 48-minute game. It's a 40-minute game. 40
Yeah,
minutes,
people
not
fall
48.
for it. They're morons, Tony.
Yes,
Oh, look,
they
the
do.
total's only 178. Got to bet it. It's like,
Right,
it's
right.
40 minutes, guys. It's not 48. It's a big difference. Like,
Big difference. Yeah, good point. Good point.
it really is. These 10-minute quarters, Tony, it's a bitch. I bet on the overs. And you look, next thing you know, there's 6 minutes left in the quarter. You're like, it just started. You're like, 6 minutes left. It's 5-3 only. You know?
What do you mean there's 9 minutes left in the first quarter and they haven't scored yet? Well, yeah. They haven't scored yet.
Exactly. Rob Vito was funny. He was talking about blindly jumping in on betting on 3-on-3 basketball. And he bet on the total. And there's a time. And he thought he was going to win. He goes, oh, this is easy. It's 1916. I got the over 34. And there's two. Like, oh, I'm going to win for sure. And the team scored a 2-point shot, and they won. He didn't realize it was first to 21. He lost 21-14. He's like, what?
That 3-on-3 is brutal, Gabe. I mean, if you watch, I watched a lot of that, and the girls, the defense, they are so physical. It's tough. Listen, that's a tough gig.
Yeah, bro.
Out there, I'm telling you,
that's
tough.
That's prison basketball. Like people think exactly.
Yeah.
People think, oh, 3-on-3 Olympics, like it's just sort of pickup. No, it's like full contact. They're all squeezed in. You watch it, Tony. The refs do not call fouls. Like you can literally like push someone and like they barely call fouls, guys. Like maybe a foul a game, and like if someone blatantly shoves someone out of bounds, they'll call it. But like you see it, like even the girls, like they're mugging each other, and they fight for the rebound, and then you got to kick the ball out past the 3-point line, and you see Tony. Then there's like a rapid fire 3. They get the ball back 3. Man, it's like speed basketball. It's fun, but it's wild stuff.
Yeah. It's nothing. The Nasty Boys, the old adage, remember in the NBA, the Nasty Boys, no blood, no foul. That applies to that 3-on-3.
And that's why the U.S. men team got lit up in this event.
Yep.
They're so effing small. Like they just said, they sent a bunch of 3-point shooters. Barry, Fredette, Travis. It was like, all right, guys, you realize Latvia, Poland, and all these countries all have 7-footers, right? And they all get the rebound, and they all just put it back in. Like Canada are good to women. They just box everyone out all the time, right? Like China has like a Yao Ming like girl on the team. She's literally like 7'2".
Yeah, nothing personal, but I'm almost more entertained by the badminton matches than I am the 3-on-3 basketball, by the way. And I haven't played badminton since I was in grade school. Badminton. I mean, these were pretty entertaining. Crazy.
Oh, dude, those girls are crazy. That the Asian badminton scene.
Right, that's right.
You can't even see that. What the shuttlecock? It's like just going. You're like, you watch. Wow. Same with the ping pong, the table tennis. You see Anthony Edwards of the Team USA. He's enthralled by it. Like. He's going to all the events, and his mouth is like wide open. He's like, they're like bang, 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 bang. He went and visited the team today. Like he's fully into it. He even like went to their training today.
I like that. I do.
Yeah,
I mean, you and
supporting them.
I think you and I could return some of the badminton shots, but put me on the other end of that ping pong table. I don't think I can return anything. No. I'll be lucky.
People are idiots if they think like, oh, I could play badminton, I could play ping pong against these guys. You wouldn't be able to return their first shot. Like
nothing.
It would be one of those like a fastball pitcher, but like what it would really be like the ball would just fly past you. You'd be like, I didn't even see that. Like I didn't see it. Like do
they know how hard that is? That ping pong. Do people realize how difficult that is? What those people what they're doing there? Incredible.
Oh, I saw a great sequence on doubles, man. Like all 4 of them, bang, 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 bang. It went on for like 2 minutes. The other one, there's a lot of these Olympic sports where you realize, like, this is crazy what they're doing. Yeah. Like, never mind the diving and stuff off the top. But remember when Luganis hit his head and stuff, man? That was brutal. But, Tony, I was watching the men's volleyball, not the beach volleyball, but the men's, like, the indoor stuff. Bro, like, these dudes from Poland were spiking the ball like bullets. Like, I was just thinking, man, I would not want to be on the other side of this net, man, with this Polish dude smashing this ball at my head. And they aim at your head so you won't return it, right? So you got to sort of so they're like smashing these balls at people's heads. And I'm thinking, like, volleyball is seriously a violent sport, man.
Seriously.
Like these guys are like hardcore, man.
good athletes. I mean, these guys are jumping 10, 12. I mean, it's it's.
Look, Chase Budinger. Chase Budinger played in the NBA. He's one. And you know what? Anyone that says, "Oh, volleyball," you know who was a great volleyball player and he loves it? Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Bill Walton, yeah. But Michael Jordan loves volleyball and was a great volleyball player as a kid as well. Like, he was into it. Yeah. Like, volleyball is cool. And the beach volleyball, that's another story. That's cool, too.
Well, women's beach volleyball is the best. It's the absolute best. They don't put any clothes on them,
I would say, don't say that, but it's true. It's true. Well, so what am I going to say? I'm not going to argue it.
Let's go space.
All right, so as far as so we talked about the games coming up, and we've got a break coming up, but what do you think about the other teams? Germany, super impressive, 3-0. Canada, 3-0 as well, looking good, but Canada, every game, Tony, they get up by like 12-15, and they take the pedal off the metal. They did the same thing in all 3 games.
I think if you're a Canadian fan, I think you like a chance against Germany. I agree with you. I have not watching them. I had to take a step back, trying to lay the points for though they haven't covered, and doesn't seem like they care to. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Canada, they don't. They really don't. I don't think if, like we told Dylan Brooks, bro, great job. You guys aren't covering spreads. I think he'd laugh in our face. And in fact, Gilgis Alexander after the game did an interview, and they said, close call. And he even said, he goes, we don't care. He goes, our goal was to go 6-0. He goes, we're here to win every game.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The silver and the bronze. I give you Canada, France, Germany, Serbia, and Australia.
Germany, more so than Canada, I think that their talent, it's a little more tiered. You know what Dennis Schroeder's capable of, Franz Wagner, another player, Daniel Tice steps up, and Mo Wagner as well. They're built to really take advantage of the mistakes that Team USA makes, and they can make the effort plays.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like, it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage, kicking it with Tony Finn. I've got to get to some Olympic bets here, and I think that's about it for the Olympics. I don't think Tony's got water polo takes for us and stuff like that, but he's got the basketball. And he is enjoying watching the Olympics, unlike some people. I'm not watching it all. Quick thing, Tony, 2028 in Los Angeles, we should go, of course. We'll go for a drive in L.A. like the old days, yeah. You know what? It's the same places, yeah. The L.A., the convention center where we set up shop and did the shows, that's home of fencing. So, and you got the Staples Centers right there. You got a bunch of events at the Staples, or the Crypt now, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, right. But all kidding aside, NFL players going to be in the Olympics in 2028, flag football. So, God willing, you and I 4 years from now will be handicapping. Wow, what do you think? Think Joe Burrow is going to throw touchdown passes here against Germany?
Crazy. Just crazy. Although it's not very – I don't think we're too far away from NFL standing for a National Flag Football League.
That's another story. Well, the new kickoff rule and stuff.
Yeah,
you know what's not talked about a little bit, Tony, with the new kickoff rule is they changed something else in the NFL too. You can't do an onside kick now unless it's what was it, 5 minutes in the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
And get this, but all right, let me new onside kick rule. Let me get you this. And you have to inform the other team you're going to do it, which kind of defeats the purpose of an onside kick, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think the conversion rate on onside kicks, 10% after they made the change rule.
True.
It's going to be 5%. It's a long shot to even recover one, and you're better off, blitzing 11 guys on an offensive play than you are trying an onside kick, as far as I'm concerned.
So, but the whole thing is, remember, so here it is. So, teams can only do it in the fourth quarter. New onside kick rule. Teams can only attempt an onside kick in the fourth quarter. A team can only attempt an onside kick if they're losing the game. The team must let the officiating crew know that they're planning to attempt an onside kick.
Yeah.
So you can only kick if you're losing the game. Think about it, Tony. The New Orleans Saints do not beat the Indianapolis Colts in the Super Bowl with this rule.
Without that.
For people wondering, I think it was a tie game at the half. The second half started, and Sean Payton and the Saints kicked off the football in the second half in an onside kick. They recovered the kick. They scored a touchdown. The rest is history. They went on to win a Super Bowl. It wouldn't happen now. And I know they changed the rules to make it impossible to even get a damn onside kick now. But this is just stupid. That you got to be losing, and you got to tell people, and you can only do it in the fourth quarter. Like, why do they come up with these stupid rule changes that nobody ever asked for, Tony? Nobody asked for this. Nobody ever wanted this.
I know this. I understand the kickoff rules. They're trying to do something to get an illusion that they care.
And they care about concussions when they get sued in lawsuits in court. We changed the rules, and that's why, sir, Your Honor, we changed the rules. And exactly.
That's right. That's the illusion of that, or that's the purpose of that. The onsides, I don't know. I really don't know. It just doesn't make much sense. In today's days, if they didn't have that new kickoff rule, right, and they had this onside rule, kicking teams wouldn't even have they wouldn't have guys up in the front of the line. Everyone would be back in front of the receivers. You can't onside kick. We don't need to be up there. So
Tony Finn.
There it is. It changes everything.
Tony Finn with us. I'm Gabriel Morency, Sirius XM Channel 159. So, Tony, any other football bets? We'll get to a couple of baseball bets in here, but any other football bets you put in, teams, futures? What do you got over the last week?
Well, I've got one I think that'll really make you disappoint you, maybe, or at least make you think, and that is.
Oh, you're going to go under Michigan?
No, I'm going to go under. Well, I'm going to go Miami. I like what they did defensively, changing coach from Faja. I like that change a ton from conservative
the Dolphins.
to right. The Dolphins.
Dolphins to what? Win a division.
Win the division. Go over their team total. And I think let me see what my odds are. And I don't remember now, but they were not. I'll give you exactly what they were. I have them to be the number one seed in the AFC.
Whoa.
As well.
Whoa! So you say the Dolphins are in for a massive year. You're buying into the Dolphins this year.
Here's what I'm doing, and that is I did some with the Jets, but the Dolphins. What I got? Here's what I got. I'm pulling up my numbers. 1,000 to be the number one seed, 10-1. Okay, plus 1,000. 200 plus 200 to win the East. Now, and in cooperation with that, should I say, I played the under with the Bills only for several reasons. And that is because of some of the changes they've made. And we continue, you and I, we talk about the Bills every single year. How many years can we have those expectations? Under 10.5, I think is a difficult lay or a win for me. But I did get positive plus money. I took it. And again, in cooperation and cohesive, or not cohesive, but in basically in alignment with the Dolphins winning that division. I think it's a tough division. I mean, a lot of people like the Jets to win that division, right? They're not talking Buffalo, Jets, Miami. A good division, tough one. I like New England over. I play them over their win total, Gabe. What do you think about over 4.5 wins? I can give you examples.
A lot of people think the Patriots are going to be the worst team in the NFL. One thing, let me just say about the Jets, Tony. I like the Dolphins better than the Jets. The Jets, I don't know. It seems like it's all or nothing with the Jets. Like, is there potential there for this thing to work? Yes. They have a ton of talent, like on paper, but paper can fall apart when it gets wet, like a paper bag as well, right? It's sort of like ink. Ink can evaporate, so it doesn't really. They still have to do it. I have my question marks about the quarterback. I really do. I have question marks about Aaron Rodgers. I have question marks about their coaching staff, like all levels of it. I think Robert Saleh is more of a coordinator than a head coach type. I think he's going to let Aaron Rodgers run things. There's going to be drama at some point. I like their players. Rodgers? I like Garrett Wilson. I like Hall. I know they have a good defense. I give them all that. But at the same point in time, they're in a tough division. So to me, I don't know. I think if everything fell right for the Jets, they're 10-7 type thing. The Jets' schedule is very tough as well.
When we get back, if you want to talk, let's put it this way. I like the Jets as long as Aaron Rodgers is healthy. I think it's a good point. And I like Wilson. I played a prop with him, over 1,500 yards total offense, plus 600.
But listen, Wilson's 40 years old, hasn't played in 2 years.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The silver and the bronze. I give you Canada, France, Germany, Serbia, and Australia.
Germany, more so than Canada. I think that their talent, it's a little more tiered. You know what Dennis Schroeder's capable of. Franz Wagner, another player. Daniel Tice steps up, and Mo Wagner as well. They're built to really take advantage of the mistakes that Team USA makes, and they can make the effort plays.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, so I told you guys throughout the evening, but if you're just joining us, we're like Summer McIntosh, Canadian woman, to win the 200-meter intermedley swim. It's at 3:08 to be exact, Eastern time, 12 o'clock Pacific in the afternoon. So Saturday afternoon, this race. All these hours merge into one. Remember, they're 6 hours ahead of East Coast time in Paris, so it's morning there now. So the Olympics are set to roll again, but she's plus 162. So I like her. I had a couple others here, too. There's a track and field here, but my head is spinning. There's so much stuff going on. So the women's 100 meters is also in the morning. The track and field.
Yeah.
Sha'Carri Richardson. As I stated earlier, Tony, how do I not support a woman that got kicked out of the last games for smoking weed with all the stuff going on in the world? She's got a chip on her shoulder. She was only 20 when that happened. She's 24 now. She's killing it. Like, she's going to win. It's minus 275, but this is parlay material here, guys. Sha'Carri Richardson tomorrow afternoon as well. This goes off. It's a 4:50 Eastern time. It's like prime time, nighttime, 100 meters in Paris. So Sha'Carri Richardson's going to win tomorrow night.
How about the 4x100 with the U.S. setting the world record? Did you watch the? They were out by. It was just crazy.
That's crazy, Tony. They're setting world records in the heats. They don't even run full speed in the heats.
Right. Look pretty good. Look pretty darn good. So I'm out there saying, my wife, I'm saying, what is this?
USA minus 334.
Yeah.
It's parlay material right there. You can parlay it. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the four-man relay men's. USA minus 334, Jamaica plus 300. The American men as a whole, like Tony said, they set a world record tonight in the qualifying. Like, these guys, Tony, the track is super fast. You're going to see people really kill it on this track. It's a beautiful track. It's really springy. They really the runners really like it. So they said expect us to set some records.
Here's a question: when do they start doing the men and women combined for some of these relays? When do they start doing that? I watched that tonight too. The men and women set the world record in that 4x100 men and women's combination.
That'll be on. That'll be like Sunday, Monday.
How long have they been doing that? How long have they been doing that in Olympics?
Oh, the mix stuff.
Yes,
I think they've done it not that long. I think this is like the third time, maybe.
I haven't paid attention.
It's pretty cool, huh? Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's a cool addition. I watched. They did that in swimming today too. Mixed. Two dudes, two women in swimming. Yeah, it's very, very cool. Hey, listen, they got to add more events, right? They're charging people all this money.
Badminton. More badminton, guys. More badminton.
There's more badminton coming up. Speaking of which, follow me on Twitter, everybody. I got to soak it up and everything that's coming up here. So the basketball, we're taking USA, Puerto Rico under the number, under 189.5. It's dipping a bit under 80, whatever. Betting now, people are betting the under. I like the under in this game. Tony's betting the under, but he also is going to roll the dice with Puerto Rico, getting the 35.5 points. And we both agree, South Sudan plus the points and the over against Serbia.
Done deal, right? And, of course, we're talking about Flaherty. I like him tomorrow. I'm not playing the minus 180. I like the minus 1.5, minus 2.5, both of those. And it's going to be a fun day tomorrow. A lot of good baseball. How about Hunter Green? Have you been talking about Hunter Green at all? Because let me tell you.
Yeah, he's been really turning into an ace, this kid.
Why haven't we? This guy's 6'5", 240 pound, and I don't want to step out and try to live.
He plays on the Reds. People don't really talk about him. That's why.
But he's Bob Gibson. That's Bob Gibson.
That's a good number there. Minus 146. You're right here for him. Good call.
I like. Yeah. That's what I like.
You know what? He really, he wasn't struggling earlier, but he's got some confidence, Tony. You know what really helped him too? I'm glad you brought him up. I heard the All-Star game helped him. Being around some of the other sort of studs, and they kind of all told him like, wow, dude, you're unbelievable. And he sort of realized, yeah, I am actually unbelievable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they basically said something. It's starting to click for him a bit, Tony. You know what it is?
Good.
I guess if you know baseball with pitchers, he's starting to pitch a bit, not just throw. Before he was just a thrower. He's starting to learn the craft of being a pitcher a bit now. You know what I mean?
Seven shutout innings his last start against the Rays. Only 5 strikeouts because he was pitching the situation. That's a good point, Gabe. You don't have to strike everybody out to be successful. It helps to be able to miss bats when you need to. It takes a lot of pitches.
All right, everybody. We hope you enjoyed the show. I'm doing a special Saturday night show tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, an Olympic special. We're going to break down all the men's track and field, the soccer. We're going to know who's going to be playing each other in the knockout basketball. Great job by our crew tonight. Other than that, you're on your own. Later.
What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments. Conor McGregor